Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
Varenthia was a planet of breathtaking beauty, a gemstone in the vastness of space. The sky was a deep cerulean, dotted with 3 vibrant moons that cast ethereal light upon the ground at night. Vast fields of bioluminescent flora swayed in the soft breeze, their colors shifting from azure to violet as dusk settled in. It was here, amidst this alien paradise, that the fate of 3 lives would forever intertwine. Kaylin, the elder sister, stood on the crest of a hill, looking down over the sprawling landscape of her home. She had always been a protector, a stalwart guardian of her clan's traditions, which were as old as the lush forests that engulfed them. Her long, silvery hair trailed behind her, catching the light of the setting suns as she pondered the responsibility that weighed heavily on her shoulders. Today was the day of the annual blessing ceremony, a sacred event that bound families and sealed unions in their tight-knit community. But this year felt different. Unease rippled through her despite the beauty surrounding her. As she turned her gaze towards the horizon, a distant flash caught her eye, a streak of fire tearing through the sky. Kaylin squinted, her heart racing as she realized it was a vessel, a human craft, plummeting towards Varenthia's surface. Panic tightened her chest. Humans were rarely seen, and when they did appear, it was under dire circumstances. They were not a part of her world, and the thought of one of them crashing here sent a chill down her spine. "Kaylin, come quickly." The voice of her younger sister Rin broke through her thoughts. Rin came running up the hill, her fiery auburn hair flying behind her like flames in the wind, her eyes wide with excitement. She had always been adventurous, fueled by an insatiable curiosity about everything beyond their world. "You won't believe it. I just saw something incredible." "I know, Rin. The humans." Rin interrupted, bouncing on her heels. "I think one of their ships crashed. We have to go see." Kaylin hesitated, a knot of apprehension forming in her stomach. "We shouldn't. It could be dangerous. Humans haven't been here in ages. They might be hostile. Or they might be exactly what we need." Rin argued, her voice ringing with enthusiasm. "Think of all we could learn. Please, Kaylin, just this once, let's explore." Kaylin looked down into her sister's pleading eyes, already knowing she wouldn't win this argument. Rin had a way of bending her will, and deep down, Kaylin felt a tug of curiosity herself. However, her instincts screamed for caution. "Fine," she relented. "But we stick together, and we are careful." With a determined nod, Rin took off running toward the crash site, and Kaylin followed, her heart pounding in rhythm with each step. As they passed through the twisting trees and glowing plants, the vibrant colors of Varenthia enveloped them, igniting a fire of anticipation in their veins. As the sisters approached the crash site, the air became charged with an unfamiliar energy. Rin, leading the way, swung through the underbrush, her excitement palpable. Kaylin was more reserved, her senses heightened, prepared for anything. Finally, they reached the clearing where the human ship lay in ruin, smoldering and cracked. The remnants of metal twisted grotesquely against the backdrop of lush greenery, an alien sight amid their home. A figure stumbled from the wreckage, a tall man with disheveled hair and wide, startled eyes, dressed in a strange, form-fitting suit that shimmered under the sunlight. "It's a human," Kaylin murmured, disbelief washing over her. Rin gasped, stepping closer, her curiosity overpowering her caution. "Hello," she called out, her voice ringing through the clearing. "Are you okay?" The human turned at the sound of her voice, those earthy brown eyes locking onto hers. A flicker of relief washed over his features, but Kaylin could also see the fear lurking beneath. He nodded, though his movements were shaky. I'm Jackson. I crashed. I need help." A rush of conflicting emotions flooded Kaylin. Here was a being from a world unknown, a human whose very presence threatened everything she had ever known. But as she watched Rin step forward, her heart swelled with empathy. "Let's help him, Kaylin," Rin urged, her voice softer now, sensing the turmoil within her sister. "He's lost and alone, just like we would be in his world." Kaylin stood in silence, the weight of an unseen world pressing in on her. The bond they shared as sisters was crucial, and Rin's words coaxed warmth into the coldness of her fear. She could feel a shift happening, one that threatened to upend her carefully constructed life. Taking a deep breath, Kaylin stepped forward, her resolve firming. "All right, Jackson. We'll help you. But you must trust us. Follow us back to our home." As Jackson smiled, a breath of hope sparked within the depths of their hearts, igniting the first embers of an adventure that would change their lives and the fate of Varenthia forever. Jackson stumbled after the two alien sisters as they led him through the dense underbrush of Varenthia, his thoughts racing. The vibrant colors around him were a stark contrast to the dull metallic hues of his ship. The air smelled of sweetness and earth, different from the recycled atmosphere he was used to. Despite the recent crash and his disorientation, a spark of wonder ignited within him. He was in an alien world, literally. Rin walked beside him, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "So, what's it like on your planet? I've heard stories of humans, but never seen one until now." "Rin, remember to give him space," Kaylin cautioned, glancing at Jackson with a protective gaze. "He's had a traumatic experience." "Right, sorry," Rin said, her exuberance momentarily dampened. I've always wanted to see one of you." As they walked, Jackson took in the surroundings. They were making their way toward a valley where Kaylin's clan resided, and he couldn't help but admire the otherworldly beauty of Varenthia. Trees towered like giants, their branches adorned with flowers that glimmered in a spectrum of colors. Giant ferns curled familiarly, while strange creatures skittered about, seemingly unbothered by three beings that did not belong. "Are you hurt?" Kaylin asked, her voice softer now, clearly concerned. "Did you sustain any injuries from a crash?" Jackson shook his head, trying to brush off the fear and anxiety that had gripped him since the moment he lost control of the ship. "Just a few scrapes, nothing serious." "Good," she replied, a hint of relief washing over her. "We need you to be strong. Our clan may not take kindly to your presence." The words sent a shiver down Jackson's spine. He knew all too well the fear and suspicion that could arise from encountering an outsider. "What do you mean?" Kaylin glanced back at him with a serious expression. "As much as we want to help you, our people have little experience with humans. They may see you as a threat, and that could lead to complications." Jackson nodded, understanding the delicate situation he was stepping into. "I appreciate you both helping me, really. I'm not here to cause trouble. I just need to find a way back home." As they continued, a sense of camaraderie began to sprout among the three of them. Rin shared tales of their clan's customs, weaving in stories of adventures she had embarked on. Kaylin would occasionally chime in, providing context, her voice laced with the protective cadence. "And now, with you being here," Rin said, her eyes shining with mischief, "you might just shake things up in a good way." "What do you mean?" Jackson asked, intrigued. Kaylin shot her sister a warning glance, but Rin brushed it off. "Well, our clan is very traditional. A new presence might open their minds, you know? Perhaps even change some of those boring old customs." Jackson raised an eyebrow. He could sense the underlying tension in Kaylin's demeanor. "Are there strict customs regarding outsiders?" "Very strict," Kaylin replied, her voice firm. "Mating and marrying rituals are deeply rooted in our culture. Each union is seen as an important bond for our people. If they see you as a potential mate for one of us—" "Whoa, wait," Jackson interjected, his heart racing at the implications. "I'm not here for that. I don't even know your customs." Kaylin's eyes softened, sensing his discomfort. "Apologies, Jackson. I didn't mean to frighten you. Just understand that there are expectations here. Relationships are a matter of clan importance." As they reached the edge of the valley, the first structures of the clan village came into view. Homes built from bioluminescent wood and woven foliage looked like they sprouted organically from the earth. The light emitted from the buildings cast a warm glow on the faces of those who were gathered outside. Curiosity and caution filled Jackson as he approached this new world. The people moved with grace, each adorned in garments that shimmered with the colors of their surroundings. However, as they noticed the trio approaching, conversations fell silent, eyes turning toward the human that had crashed into their midst. "Stay close," Kaylin whispered to him, her hand subtly brushing against his arm as if to reassure him. "I will introduce you, but please remain calm." Rin beamed, stepping forward with confidence. "Everyone, this is Jackson. He came from the stars and crashed from his ship. Isn't that amazing?" The tension in the air thickened, a mixture of intrigue and hesitation. Eyes widened, and whispers populated the crowd. Kaylin took a deep breath and stepped forward, positioning herself between Jackson and the gathered clan's folk. "Everyone listen," Kaylin called out, her voice commanding yet steady. "Jackson means no harm. He's lost and needs our help." But the murmurs only grew louder, opinions being exchanged in low tones. Jackson felt all eyes on him, and though he wished to appear composed, his heart raced. He could already sense that this was no ordinary encounter. An elder from the crowd stepped forward, his gaze piercing. "What does a human want among us? We are a proud people, and our customs do not allow for outsiders. Your presence is a disruption." The elder's words stung, and Jackson felt a surge of anxiety. How could he possibly convince them that he was harmless? Rin's enthusiasm faded, and Kaylin's protective nature surged forward. "I understand your concerns," Kaylin said, her voice strong. "But Jackson is an intelligent being, just like us. We should extend our hospitality. A meeting in our hall may help rectify misunderstandings." The elder eyed her sharply, but then shifted his gaze to Rin and Jackson. The weight of their scrutiny felt like 1,000 stars pressing down on him. Jackson could sense that this was a pivotal moment, one that would determine his fate on this alien world. As the elder finally spoke, Jackson held his breath. "Very well, we shall hear you, Jackson. But do not expect our ways to bend easily. You are a stranger in our land, and you must not forget that." With a sense of trepidation but also newfound hope, Jackson nodded slowly. He was prepared to face whatever came next, not knowing that the challenges and joys ahead would redefine everything he believed about connection and belonging. The hall was a grand structure, a fusion of nature and architecture that seemed to rise organically from the earth itself. Bioluminescent vines wound around the pillars, illuminating the space with a soft, welcoming glow. Jackson stepped inside, taking in the intricate carvings that depicted ancient stories of love and unity, contrasting sharply with the tension he felt in the air. As the trio entered, the gathered clansfolk seated themselves in a semicircle, their expressions a mixture of intrigue and wariness. Kaylin led him to a spot at the center where the elder had gestured him to stand. Rin remained close by, her enthusiasm unwavering, though Jackson could sense her nervousness too. The elder, an imposing figure with a long silver beard and wise, deep-set eyes, approached slowly. "Welcome, Jackson of the human clan," he began, his voice resonating through the hall. "You find yourself in a place unfamiliar, among people who have never encountered your kind. Speak now and tell us your purpose." Jackson swallowed hard, realizing how daunting this moment was. It felt like the weight of every gaze was pressing down on him, leaving him exposed and vulnerable. "Thank you for allowing me to speak," he started, his voice steadying despite the anxiety flaring in his chest. "I did not choose to come here. I crashed while exploring the outer reaches of space. My only desire is to return home." "Home," the elder echoed, his voice thoughtful. "What does home mean to a human? Is it not just a place you inhabit?" Jackson seized the opportunity to explain. "Home is where we feel a connection, where our families reside. It's where we belong. I was separated from my team and my world. I do not want to intrude on your lives. I just need assistance to reach stability again." A murmur of conversation rippled through the assembly. Kaylin stood beside him, her presence a comforting anchor. Rin, with her ever-enthusiastic spirit, added, "He's kind and brave. We've learned so much in just the short time we've known him." The elder raised his hand for silence, his gaze shifting slightly. "We are aware of our duty to offer sanctuary to those in need. But humans have a tumultuous history. What assurances do we have that you do not bring danger with you?" "I can assure you, I mean no harm," Jackson replied earnestly. "I come in peace and simply seek to understand this world. I am willing to learn your customs." Another clan member, a robust warrior with fierce eyes, spoke up. "But can a human truly understand our culture? We are not the same. Our customs and bonds are sacred. Kalen stepped forward bravely, facing the crowd. That is exactly why we must give him a chance. We can teach him about our ways, and he can share his knowledge in return. Perhaps this could be an opportunity for growth, for both sides. The murmurs intensified, the members clearly divided on the issue. Jackson could feel the weight of their skepticism bearing down on him. He glanced at Kalen, whose unwavering support was heartening, and then at Rin, whose hopeful smile bolstered his resolve. "Listen," Jackson said, trying to project confidence. "I want to learn, to respect your ways. If you give me the chance, I can show you that there is more to me than what you might expect." "What can you offer us?" the elder asked, arching an eyebrow. "What benefit is there to associating with you?" Jackson paused, considering his response carefully. "I may have skills that could be useful. I am trained in engineering and exploration. Perhaps I can assist in any projects or challenges you face. Surely your technology must be advanced." Rin chimed in, her excitement bubbling over. "We could learn so much." The elder reflected for a moment, absorbing the words as the crowd murmured amongst themselves. At last, he nodded. "You may remain among us, Jackson, under one condition. Our traditions and ways must be respected. We will tell you the customs of our clan, so that you can integrate, but understand, we will be watching closely." A rush of relief flooded through Jackson. "Thank you," he said, genuine gratitude in his voice. "I appreciate the opportunity." With that, the elder motioned for silence again. "You will join us in the rituals of our community, be it in learning, work, or whatever it may entail. For now, we will host a welcoming feast in your honor." Rin's eyes sparkled as she squeezed Jackson's arm. "Yes, you're going to love our food. And the festivities. It's a celebration." Kalen smiled softly, pride swelling within her. "A feast will allow you to learn more about us. It is a chance for bonding." As the meeting concluded, Jackson felt lighter than he had since crashing on Varenthia. The initial hostility had transformed into a tentative acceptance, and he was ready to embrace this new chapter in his life. Outside the hall, preparations for the feast were underway. Aromas of unfamiliar spices wafted through the air, mingling with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. Laughter and chatter filled the surroundings, though Jackson still felt the wary glances from some of the clan members. "Don't worry," Rin said, her eagerness infectious. "Just be yourself. They'll come to see you as we do, I promise." As they made their way to the open area set up for the feast, Jackson couldn't shake the feeling of impending change. He was not just navigating an alien world. He was stepping into an intricate tapestry of relationships, beliefs, and customs that would challenge everything he thought he knew about connection and understanding. As the sun dipped below the horizon, stars began to twinkle in the vast expanse above, illuminating the new paths ahead. Jackson smiled to himself, hoping that within this dazzling alien world, he might find not only a way back home, but a place where he truly belonged. The clearing was transformed into an open banquet space, vibrant and alive with the sounds of celebration. Luminescent vines, woven into intricate patterns, hung from the trees, casting a soft glow that welcomed both the newly accepted human and the eager clan's folk. Tables crafted from smooth, iridescent stones were laden with an array of dishes that Jackson had never seen before, the colors as diverse as the people who prepared them. As they settled into the festivities, Rin's infectious enthusiasm drew Jackson into the mix. "Try this," she exclaimed, handing him a platter piled high with glistening fruits. They looked like plump, radiant berries, but their hues shifted from pink to deep purple, promising a burst of flavor. "What is it?" Jackson asked, eyeing the offering with a mixture of curiosity and caution. "It's a Laresa fruit. You won't regret it," Rin urged, her excitement palpable. Taking a leap of faith, Jackson plucked one from the platter and bit into it. A rush of sweet, tangy flavors exploded in his mouth, far more delicious than he anticipated. "This is amazing," he exclaimed, his eyes widening in surprise. Kalen watched her sister with fond amusement. "You'll find that the variety of flavors in our world is beyond what you've experienced," she said, joining them with her own plate of food. As the feast continued, Laughter echoed beneath the open sky, weaving through the warm air. Clansfolk shared stories of their heritage, their laughter intertwining with the starry night. But amid the merriment, Jackson remained aware of the cautious glances from some of the elders, whispers fluttering through the crowd like leaves in the wind. "Jackson!" Rin beckoned, her voice bright amidst the noise. "Let's join the dance. It's custom to celebrate with movement." "I don't know how to dance like you," he admitted, feeling self-conscious about his mediocre rhythm compared to the fluid grace of the Varenthians. "Just follow my lead." Rin tugged him onto the grassy area that had been cleared for dancing. The circular formation of the clansfolk began to move, their bodies flowing effortlessly in unison, inviting him to let go of his inhibitions. With a hesitant smile, Jackson found himself mirroring Rin's movements. She twirled and clapped, encouraging him with every beat, and soon he found a rhythm of his own. The joy in the air was infectious, and as he danced, he felt the strains of his previous worries begin to fade away. "See, you're a natural." Rin cheered, spinning around him, her laughter bright against the cosmically lit backdrop. The energy of the celebration wrapped around him, creating a warmth that melted the barriers of his previous fears. Even Kaylin joined in, her initial reserve dissolving as she let herself feel the music. As the dance wound down, a particularly boisterous clan member approached with a wide grin. "You dance with the spirit of our ancestors," he declared, slapping Jackson on the back. The gesture was stranger than it was rude, and Jackson couldn't help but chuckle at the man's exuberance. "Thank you," Jackson replied, feeling a swell of pride at their acceptance. Moments later, Kaylin returned from the sidelines, holding a steaming dish in her hands. "You must try this," she insisted, offering him a slice of tender roasted meat seasoned with fragrant herbs. "What kind of meat is this?" Jackson asked, eyeing it warily. "It's from a Zarth beast," Kaylin said, noticing his hesitation. "It's a traditional dish in our culture, steeped in flavors that generations have enjoyed." Jackson took a bite, and the succulent taste danced on his tongue, rich and satisfying. "This is incredible. Thank you for sharing it with me, Kaylin." A smile flickered across her face, a warmth blooming in her chest. "You're welcome. I'm glad you are enjoying our customs." As the night wore on, more clansfolk emerged, sharing tales from their past, and Jackson began to feel a real connection forming between him and these new friends. Each story he listened to peeled back another layer of their culture, revealing not only differences, but shared values he had always held dear. He grew especially close to Rin, who often led him to different corners of the feast, always eager to introduce him to someone new. Her exuberance was contagious, and Jackson found himself sharing stories about life on Earth, strange tales of technology and adventures that sparked intrigue among the Varenthian people. Yet, amid the joy, Kaylin often watched him with a mix of admiration and concern. As he interacted with her people, she couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this human than met the eye. Sensing that he was about to challenge their way of life, she felt a blend of excitement and fear stirring within her. "Jackson," she called, catching him during a quieter moment. "What do you think of us? Your first impressions?" Jackson paused, looking around him at the joyous faces illuminated by the light of the bioluminescent plants. "I think your people are beautiful, both in spirit and in culture. There's so much depth here, so much feeling. I never expected to feel so welcomed among you." A hint of warmth graced Kaylin's cheeks. "I'm glad to hear that. Accepting strangers is not always easy for us. Many feel uncertain about you. I understand. I'm a stranger in your land. I want to prove to you that I intend no harm." Kaylin studied him, sensing warmth behind his earnest eyes. "You are showing promise, Jackson, and I hope you continue to honor our ways." As the celebration continued into the night, a sense of camaraderie blossomed around the feast. The stars shimmered above, reflective of the newfound light in Jackson's heart. For the first time since his crash, Jackson dared to believe that perhaps, in this alien world, he could forge a new beginning, a connection that transcended both distance and difference. As the feast progressed, Jackson found himself wrapped in a tapestry of laughter and joy, Yet the topic of bonding and mating danced just beneath the surface of every interaction. The Varinthian's understanding of such connections was deeply rooted in tradition, and he could sense the weight of it looming in the revelry. After the last dance, the gathering began to settle down. Clansfolk moved toward smaller groups, sharing stories and laughter. Rin, still buzzing with excitement, tugged at Jackson's sleeve. "Come on. I want you to meet some of the elders, who can tell you more about our customs." "Lead the way," Jackson replied, intrigued yet apprehensive. He had noticed the hushed references to mating rituals and the significance they held in Varinthian culture, and he felt it was essential to understand this part of their world. Rin guided him toward a group of elder women seated around a glowing lantern, each adorned in intricate garments that reflected the verdant hues of the forest. "Elders, this is Jackson," she introduced, her voice bubbling with excitement. "He's our special guest." The women turned their wise eyes towards him, their faces warm yet stern. One elder, her long silver hair cascading down her back, spoke up. "You are welcome, Jackson. What brings you to our home, and what do you wish to learn?" Jackson swallowed, feeling the gravity of the moment. "Thank you for welcoming me. I want to understand your customs, especially those regarding bonds and relationships." The elder nodded, a glint of appreciation in her eyes. "Ah, the customs of mating are sacred. They bind our community tightly, reflecting our unity with one another and our planet. Each bond is a commitment, extending beyond the individual." "Commitment," Rin echoed, her voice bright. "It's a significant aspect for us. When two beings choose to mate, they engage in a ceremony that symbolizes not just love, but the intertwining of their fates." Jackson listened intently, his heart racing a bit at the word mate. He could feel the air shift around him, curiosity intertwining with the gravity of what lay ahead. "What does that ceremony involve?" The elder leaned forward, her eyes shining with the firelight. "The ceremony begins with a gathering of family and community. Couples offer tokens, items of significance that represent their history and hopes for the future. Then there are vows, spoken under the gaze of our moons, intertwining their paths." "Intertwining?" Jackson asked, intrigued. "It's a physical connection. Our tradition is rooted heavily in passion," Rin interjected, her cheeks flushed with excitement. "It's not merely a ceremony, but a celebration of life and vitality. The bonding is both emotional and physical, creating a deep bond between two." Even as Jackson's mind raced with thoughts of implications, Rin continued. "It's said that after the joining, the bond strengthens through shared experiences. A couple becomes more attuned to each other's emotions." The elder added, "To deny the bond after creation is seen as a great dishonor. Each union nurtures our lineage and connects us to the very essence of Varenthia." Jackson felt the weight of their words. It was unlike anything he had encountered on Earth. The idea of mating in such an open, communal manner felt both enchanting and daunting. "Is it always between members of your own kind?" he asked, his interest piqued. "No," the elder replied. "Partnerships may form across species, though they are rare. When such unions happen, they carry significant responsibility and potential for cultural exchange." The conversation was turning intricate, and Jackson sensed the implications, threading through their words. "So, if someone were to bond with me, it would be accepted?" he asked, a part of him wondering what that would mean for Kalen and Rin. He was undeniably drawn to both. Rin's eyes sparkled with mischief. It would create quite a stir. Some would be curious, while others might see it as a danger to our customs. "However," the elder interjected, "there lies the importance of empathy in cross-species bonds. If true love is present, it can inspire growth beyond tradition." Kalen, who had been observing silently, stepped into the conversation. "But it's crucial that anyone considering a bond understands the societal implications and is willing to honor our ways." As the elders continued discussing, Jackson felt the swirl of possibilities. The thought of forming a bond, especially with someone like Kalen or Rin, sent shivers down his spine. He couldn't deny his feelings. There was an undeniable connection that sparked between them. Can one fully participate in these traditions if they are not from your kind? Jackson asked, his heart racing with the question. Rin's eyes gleamed with mischief again. Why don't you find out? You've already made an impression. If you're open to it, perhaps you could participate in the next ceremony. The elder smiled knowingly. You may face challenges, but every opportunity holds the potential for learning and love. Perhaps if you embrace it, you can teach us in return. As the group transitioned back into lighter conversations, Jackson's mind buzzed with newfound understanding. The bonds formed in this world were a reflection of unity and connection that overshadowed mere physicality. It ignited a desire within him, a wish to discover if he could indeed belong in a land that felt so distant yet strikingly beautiful. The evening drifted on, laughter echoing like stars through the clear night sky. As Jackson immersed himself in the warmth of Varenthian culture, he knew that this unexpected journey might lead him to a deeper understanding of himself and what it truly meant to connect with another being in any universe. As the festivities of the feast began to wind down and the stars hung like diamonds against the velvet sky, Jackson felt a stirring within him, a realization that his time on Varenthia was leading towards something profound. He had been welcomed despite being an outsider, and the bonds he had begun to form were transcending mere friendship. Later, as the celebrations quieted and the clan members dispersed, Rin approached him with a playful glint in her eye. You know, Jackson, you've made quite the impression. The elders are intrigued by you. Some even think you could be a potential mate for one of us. Jackson chuckled nervously, the weight of her words hitting him. A mate? I've only just arrived, Rin. This is all so new to me. But it's possible, she insisted, taking a step closer. You've already proven yourself. The ceremonial bonds you learned about aren't just for your own kind, but can weave hearts together across the stars. Rin, you're getting ahead of yourself, said Kaylin, who had been nearby, listening quietly. Yet even she couldn't mask the warmth in her gaze as she looked at Jackson. It's not something to take lightly. A bond has its responsibilities. Jackson felt the flutter of emotions within him. I know, he replied, but my heart tells me there's something worth exploring here. Your world is unlike anything I've experienced. He looked from Rin to Kaylin, feeling the connection that had blossomed between them. Kaylin took a breath, her demeanor earnest. If you truly feel that way, perhaps we should discuss the possibility of a ceremonial bond then, one with the understanding that it is a partnership built on respect, love, and awareness of the traditions that guide us. Jackson's heart raced at her words. It was a declaration laced with promise and hesitation, and it filled him with both thrill and trepidation. I would love to endeavor into that, but I want us to take our time. There's so much to learn about each other. Of course, Kaylin smiled, relief softening her features. It's important to build that trust, especially across cultures. The bond is as much about understanding as it is about love. The next few days were filled with exploration and shared experiences. Jackson immersed himself in the culture of Varenthia, helping with chores, attending communal gatherings, and learning the ways of their people. He found joy in the moments shared with Rin and Kaylin, visiting the flora they had never left behind. They shared tales of their lives, dreams, and laughter, each exchanging pieces of their worlds that had once felt worlds apart. As dusk fell on the third evening, the elders called forth a gathering. They set up an open space beneath the stars above, where the bonds of the Varenthian people were celebrated. Jackson stood in the center, flanked by Kaylin and Rin, a mix of excitement and nerves coiling in his chest. Tonight, we welcome you, Jackson, the elder proclaimed, his voice commanding yet gentle. You are here to explore the possibility of a bond with our daughters. To join our traditions is to honor your connection and honor their hearts. Jackson glanced at Rin, who was bright-eyed and beaming with delight. Then he looked at Kaylin, whose expression was sincere and unwavering. They had both stood by him, and it was clear that this moment carried significant weight. Let it be known, the elder continued, that this union symbolizes the blending of our people, a partnership that connects us through love and understanding. The embrace should be shared as a testament to the ties of unity, heart, and spirit. As they faced the gathering, Jackson took a deep breath and spoke from the heart. I didn't expect any of this when I first crash-landed on Varenthia. I found warmth, acceptance, and beauty in a world that felt foreign. Kaylin Rin, You've opened my eyes to what it means to truly connect with others across thresholds." The clan held their breath as he continued. "While Earth is my home, I feel that a part of me already belongs here with you both. I hope to embrace both your customs and your hearts in whatever way that may unfold." With the elder's nod, Kaylin took a step forward, her gaze unwavering. "Let us forge this bond with respect for each other's worlds, knowing that it will create new paths for all of us." Rin, her enthusiasm bubbling, clapped her hands. "And love, too. Love knows no boundaries." As Jackson reached for both sisters, the air thickened with possibilities. Together, they formed a circle, hand in hand, their fingers laced in unity. The moment hung suspended in time, illuminated by the stars overhead, the tender connection binding them all. The elders stepped closer, guiding them through the words of the ritual. "Let this union symbolize not only the joining of hearts, but the bridging of worlds. Tonight, our bond is woven together," they echoed, voices harmonious beneath the expanse of the universe. With the final word spoken, the stars above seemed to shimmer and resonate softly, reflecting their commitment to one another. In that moment, Jackson felt a profound shift within, the warmth of acceptance enveloping him, intertwining him deeper into the fabric of Varenthia and the sisters he had come to care for. As the night wore on, laughter and joy filled the air, echoing around them like a warm embrace. Jackson understood now that it was not merely the customs he'd come to embrace, but the love that fostered growth and change. This journey had shifted from one of survival to one of connection, a journey he was excited to explore with Kaylin and Rin. In that alien world, amid the bonds forged under countless stars, Jackson discovered not only a new home, but also the infinite possibilities that love could bring, transcending the limits of species, culture, and distance. Together, they would chart the course of uncharted territories, learning from one another as they embraced the beauty of their unexpected union. With warmth in his heart and hope in his spirit, Jackson knew that adventure awaited them all, not just as individuals, but as a trio weaving together their fates. Varenthia was now more than a backdrop to his journey. It was a world of endless love, connection, and possibilities for the future.